What a friend we have in Jesus.
One of the most powerful scriptures that encourages us to pray comes from James, who said this: "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." James 5 verse 16. You see, many people have a view that God has already determined everything that's going to happen in the world. There's a certain theological framework held by many which claims this, but I certainly don't believe it. I believe prayer is effective and that we can pray expectantly, trusting that God hears and responds to the prayers of His people. It's a mistake to think that prayer doesn't move God, that it doesn't affect Him. Prayer does move God to action in some cases. As E.M. Bounds wrote, "Only God can move mountains, but faith and prayer can move God." Do you remember Abraham's prayer for the righteous people of Sodom? In Genesis 18, God was about to destroy the sinful city of Sodom, but Abraham begins to ask God to save the righteous people who still lived there. It's a fascinating exchange where Abraham asks God to show mercy, and God listens to his prayer and changes his plan. Abraham's heartfelt prayer moved God. Of course, God's will for the city was still carried through. The ultimate outcome wasn't changed, but some of the details changed. Are we praying expectantly, with great faith that God is a good God and will do what is right and just and good? Now, this doesn't mean we demand from God what we want. Abraham was very humble in that prayer, asking God kindly and not demanding. But on the other hand, he didn't simply shrug his shoulders and say, "Lord, your will be done." He wrestled with God and asked for change. Jesus even said, if you pray in line with God's will, you will get what you pray for. Again, this is not suggesting that prayer is just a big free-for-all, but rather it means that when you've engaged with God and gotten so close with Him that your will and His are aligned, your prayers will be effective. Prayer is not a waste of time. It is powerful and effective when you are living in close communion with God, and it is also the only real way to find any change in your own life. You may have seen the story going around Facebook a while back that said, once a man was asked, "What did you gain by regularly praying to God?" The man replied, "Nothing, but let me tell you what I lost: anger, ego, greed, depression, insecurity, and fear of death." Get praying, my friends. Jesus and His followers have set an example for us. It is expected of Christians that they pray, but more than that, it is a beautiful and effective way to engage with God and receive His encouragement. May we truly be people of prayer as we continue our journey with Jesus. Go well. Have a prayerful weekend, my friends. Please join me on Sunday night as I sing and lead worship on Encounter. I'd love to have you join. Go well.
In His arms He'll take